Lynn here, and today we're going to be talking about the Calathea White Star. How beautiful is she? We're going to talk about her care, we're going to talk about her needs, we're going to talk all about her. All about her. We love her here. So let's just jump right into it. So the Calathea White Star needs just bright and direct light. Nothing too bright. Direct sunlight will actually bleach and then eventually burn these leaves, so you really want to be in a bright and direct spot. My Calathea is on the top shelf of my DIY plant terrarium cabinet thing that I made, because there's no light up there, but that room is very bright in general. It's about, the cabinet's about 6 feet from an east-facing window. It's just a decently bright room, so that amount of light is more than enough. She's doing so good. She's so happy. She could use a little drink, that's why we got one little fluky leaf. This one actually I might just cut off. It's got a little browning on it and stuff. Oh. So Calathea, as they notoriously are, do not like to dry out fully. I would say a general rule of thumb for watering is when you stick your finger in the soil like this, and you see how I have a little bit of dirt on my fingertip there, but I went actually down about that deep into the soil. Can you see that? Is it focusing? Okay, so I went down about halfway between between my middle knuckle here, but so it's damp that deep. From there to there, the difference. This does need water. It's dry enough that it's dried out some, but it could use a little water. Not a full drench it, throw it in the tub kind of water, but a little water. A little water would do good. Another thing about Calatheas is they are a little finicky in the sense that they do not like unfiltered hard mineral water. So I like to, I just fill up an old water bottle with my filtered water that I use in my fridge, my Brita filter water, and I leave that out in the shelf with the Calatheas, because then that water will get to room temperature, and then I have water right there that I can just dribble a little in, because they just need water so constantly. I probably water all of my Calathea right now probably every 4 or 5 days, still twice a week, but I also don't give them a lot of water. I give them a little splash of water just to keep them hydrated, because it is fall now. In the summer I drench them, I give them a full soaking because it's warm, but in my house, in that cabinet, it stays about 65 to 70 degrees, so it's not hot. They're not using that water like crazy. They're not under a grow light. These are my conditions for my Calathea. Always in your own home, you might have to adjust some of these things, but these are just very, very general rules for how to care for most Calathea, specifically the Calathea White Star. She's such a beauty. The Calathea White Star loves high humidity. High humidity. As you can see, mine does not have a most amazing humidity. I have a little bit of browning here. That might have been like that from the nursery though. It might not have been me, I don't remember. But you want to keep your humidity levels over 50, I would say, over 50%. I try to keep the humidity in my greenhouse cabinet at 60 to 70, preferably over 70 if I can get there. It's hard to do, it really is. It's hard to do without throwing a humidifier in there, which I don't want to do because that just seems like a moldy disaster waiting to happen. So I'm not putting a humidifier in there as long as I can avoid it. I do have a humidity tray that I keep under a couple of plants, and that really helps increase my humidity. I also have a seed starting mat at the bottom, and I keep 2 little glass containers of water on there, which I think helps create condensation or something. I don't know. It seems to be okay. It seems to be helping my humidity, at least on that level. I don't know if it can get all the way up because of all the glass shelves and all the other plants in the way, but that's what I'm trying to do, is just have little cups of water on at least every shelf including the one at the bottom that I just mentioned. Also, have you liked and subscribed to this video yet? So the Calathea they like a well-draining soil, but you do also want it to have some moisture retaining properties. Most people recommend putting some charcoal in your mix just to keep the bacteria and all that kind of good stuff. I haven't repotted this one from when I got it at the nursery because I don't like to repot my plants. I really don't. I try to avoid it for as long as possible because as soon as you repot them, it slows down their growth and I just want new leaves and stuff. That's my goal at the end of the day. So the mix that they put in at the greenhouse seems to be like 70% potting mix, and then there's a little bit of a fine to medium orchid bark in there, and then there might also be a little bit of moss, which will help retain some of that moisture too, but also like let it drain out quickly. So I'm really happy with this mix. This plant seems to be really happy in it. So I would recommend something like that is a little bit moisture retentive, but still can drain through easily if the plant doesn't need that much water. What should you put this in? Should you put it in terracotta or should you put it in plastic or ceramic or something to the like? I leave my Calathea in their plastic nursery pots. I do not put Calathea in terracotta. They look beautiful in terracotta, but I leave mine in the plastic pots because I don't want to water them every single day. If I'm using terracotta, I would have to water them constantly. It would never end. They'd always be browning. Now, I'm an underwaterer. I know myself. I'm checking myself. I'm an underwaterer. I constantly have plants that are suffering because I refuse to water them. Know yourself. If you're an overwaterer, throw this in terracotta and she'll be fine. If you want to water your plants every day, water your plants every day. And put this in terracotta because they might be happy. You should never water your plants every day though. Please don't do that. Maybe if they're outside, not in the fall, in your house though. Like, that's actually just like a really general piece of advice. If you love to water your plants and you are always killing your plants because you can't stop watering them, put all your plants in terracotta. If you can't change your behavior, at least change their circumstances and give them a fighting chance. But I'm an underwaterer, so I know that I'm never going to water my plants enough and consistently enough. So plastic pots are what is going to work for me. What works for me might not always work for you, but that is my personal recommendation. I would never put a Calathea in terracotta because I can't do that to myself. And the last thing I want to talk about today is it PetSafe? Calatheas are PetSafe. For cats and dogs, they are non-toxic. So that is really a huge selling point for all Calathea varieties. Plus, like, look at how beautiful this baby be. Look at her. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's so happy. She's tall. She's a tall girl. I love how big these leaves are and this pink that comes out. And it's like watercolory, like it's not everywhere. It has sort of a lime green in these margins, but then that deep, deep green. Oh, she's so beautiful, so beautiful. I'm just obsessed with her, and I just can't wait until she's just like bursting at the seams. I want her to be the only thing on the top level of my greenhouse. Alright, so I think that just about does it for our Calathea White Star care. Please make sure you give this video a like if you learned something new, and you have a great rest of your week. Bye guys.